Hey, what's going on? Thank you for tuning into the Coach's Couch. I'm your host, Coach C's, here to bring you some sports information fresh off the couch. Stay tuned.
Lifestyle. All right. I'm gonna show you guys.
You talk about families that got loot too. You talk about Sarah Gatos.
Yeah, Sarah and Gatos, they both have it. All right. So I brought it up. Can you guys see this?
And
Oh yeah.
All right.
yeah,
This is the first topic, right? And Ricky commented on it before, but like I was on two posts and people were kind of going back and forth with me on this, and it made no sense, right? Because um, they're all trying to say, the comments below, they're like trying to say that you know Cam is gonna destroy Henry, right? And I'm just like, nah, I honestly don't think so. um you know Cam's gonna wake it up real quick, truck him, whatever. It to me, I said Henry probably, it's just it's a safe bet, right? Because I don't ever remember Cam, you know, knocking a big ass running back out, like just flat out just comes up and trucks him. I've seen him do it to a bunch of small backs, but I've never seen him do it to
I,
like big backs. And think about it, like when he was playing, who were
yeah,
the bigger backs at the time? I mean, Adrian Peterson was kind of like the moderate, but like the biggest back probably that ran as faster than Henry, if not as fast, was Steven Jackson, right? At the time, he was huge. I think he was 6'4", 240
yeah.
pounds.
I mean, you talk about Steve Jackson when he was really in his prime. He's already fading out at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because Cam only had like a 7 to 8 year career, so he's not like he just like retired like 2 seasons ago.
Yeah. And it's
And
a double-edged sword, right? Because you play a certain way, right? And it is what it is. But I was saying this
I mean,
dude.
I guess maybe the only other running back it would have been was be like Todd Gurley. Like that's like on the back end of Cam's career.
Yeah, no, true. I and I mean, I was watching highlights on it, and I just don't see it. Like, even if you look at Cam's top 15 hits of his entire career, seriously, every single one of them was against a wide receiver or a tight end that was not looking and was not prepared. It was a blindside knockout. It was one of those hospital hits that you expect the DB to make, right?
Yeah,
He wasn't asked to necessarily be a run stopper unless it was like 4th and 1 on the goal line, and it's an obvious run situation.
yeah.
But nah, I don't know, man. From what I've seen this season's Henry versus any of his seasons, really. I mean, for a third and what they say, what is it? It's third and
33.
in a head-to-head collision. Who gets the first down? I don't know, man. I've seen Adrian Peterson go up against him, and Adrian Peterson's a lot smaller than him, and he was able to get it. He got 2 touchdowns on Cam easily. I mean, Adrian Peterson is a Hall of Famer. The testimony's still out on Henry, but Steven Jackson did it too. It is
I
what it
mean,
is.
It's, it's 33.
to me, like I don't. It's 33. You're gonna go to the running back. I don't see there's like really an argument. Like 33. You talk about just look at this what he did. Right. You talk about what they did, what Henry did last season. He did it like with 4 or 5 people on his back.
Yeah,
So
no,
you talk about a one-on-one situation. I don't. Cam's not gonna be able to come down that fast out of the box realistically, unless you talk about like doing some type of stupid football drill.
yeah. Someone,
Like there's no way that Cam's gonna come down, be a strong safety in the box. Almost lining up a linebacker, you're gonna be able to stop him. Because Henry's getting the ball 8 yards deep, so he's already coming at once he hit the last stream, he's already coming at you full speed.
like
So
this.
the only way Cam's gonna able to stop him is he's gonna hit him in the backfield,
Well,
and
see,
I don't see that happening.
well, and that was one thing too. I looked at Cam's overall stats. He's only had 17 tackles for losses and only 2 sacks. So the dude was not like Troy Polamalu. You know what I'm saying? Like I said it right here. I was like, dude, I was like, you guys are tripping because I was like, you're saying Henry would bust through the linebackers and make it to the secondary to give Cam the opportunity to get his one-on-one. That means he already got the 3rd and 3, right? Right? And they're like, well,
Yeah, you talk about linebackers playing 4 yards, so
well, they were also saying like, let me see what the comments and stuff, and he was like, Ricky was like, bro, you know he's in the box in a situation like that. I was like, okay, so now we're talking about situations, right? So if we're talking about situations, then situationally, you know, I'm pretty sure if everyone and their mamas knew that they were gonna run the ball, then why not just do it exactly what they did in the AFC title game? Hand the ball off to him and then have him just throw to the tight end for the touchdown. You know, like it's not that hard. And then, or I mean, like I even said it over here. I was like, dude, like you can also. That means you're gonna have if you're bringing him completely in the box, it's gonna be 1-on-1 on the outside, and that means you have a wide open lane to just throw a quick slant, right? It's seriously from the corner all the way to the free safety. It's wide open, right? And obviously it's gonna be quick because there's gonna be all out blitz, but. So it was funny because it kept going, and someone was like, "Audibles? What are you talking about, audibles?" And he was like, "Nah, this it's third and 3. The prompt said 3rd and 3 head to head, no audibles." And I was like, "Okay." I don't even know what I said. I was like, "I get it," but I was like, "It's just a super unlikely situation." I was like, "Cam played strong safety, so he's 5-2 for the most part." And the Seahawks that year, for most of the years that he was there, when the Legion of Boom was super healthy, they're always in like a cover 3 look. You know?
Tortilla or something?
Yeah, the Legion Boom had 2 high safeties, so it's not like they said they let the man's D up because they had 2 high safeties. So that's when shit would go off, is when Sherman could sit there man up on somebody, and then was it Earl Thomas was roaming the back, and then what's his face hang out in one zone. It's not like he was ever like 5 yards in the box. He's 8 to 10 yards back. That's to me, like, everybody's getting all crazy, like, yo, he took him to the box. Like, yo, why would he come up in the box? And like, yeah, big point, like, yeah, why was it be no audible? So you have a play from furthest question, you play him in their logical position at the time. Boom, it's done.
Doesn't make any sense, right?
Quick and dirty.
So,
Derrick Henry wins.
That's why I was like, Henry wins. Dude. I mean, 9 times out of 10, Henry's in that battle.
Hey, in like a make-believe situation, like 3rd and 3 goes through like the 2-hole, and like Cam meets him like a yard away from the first down. Like, I mean, I'll probably give it to Cam though, just because like dude was a tackler. Like he's not gonna light him up like some Madden hit stick, but he's gonna make a business decision. Like, you know,
he's gonna get that ankle or that leg.
Yeah, it's exactly right. Grab the ankle, grab the leg, go low on him. Like he's trying to stop the first down. So I give it to him like that, like in some make-believe situation. But also I would say like there's lesser dudes that could probably make that happen. I know it didn't happen this year in the playoffs because Derrick Henry, but to be fair, they were tackling very high. Like the tackling was poor in general.
Yeah.
But dudes like some real linebackers, like, you know, like KJ Wright, you know, obviously like a dude like Luke Kuechly back in his prime before concussions, like, bro, they're bringing him down. Like,
yeah. Like if the question is like another linebacker like Brian Urlacher or Ray Lewis in their prime versus Derrick Henry's prime, yeah, I'm going with the linebacker. Linebackers, so at least how to hold him up to sit there and like, you're not getting that first down. To be a DB, you're talking about a strong safety who, per his stats numbers, I don't think he had a great career when the Seahawks were good. You know, for the 3-4 years of that Legion of Boom time, that was pretty solid. But after that, dude, he faltered. Like, you would think that even with his size, he would still be able to play a linebacker in the NFL. He's playing strong safety. All you have to do is creep back up into the box, and then you're good to go. So I mean, that's the thing. Is like, I don't. The Cam Chancellor, like I said, he was cool for a couple of years. He's on one of the best defenses you could ever talk about, type of deal. But
that's
about it to me. I'm like, yeah, like I said, I don't. It don't make sense to me. It's just like how people like be clowning on with a Cam Newton shit right now. I'm like, oh, nobody wants him. Like, yeah, dude. He's also going to a free agency where doctors came and check on him.
Yeah, that's funny. I was like looking through the other stuff about Cam and all that, and they're saying a useless you want a useless trade or whatever, or a useless backup. I was like, that's messed up, man. He had a few good years and he did what he did.
Dude, I said, like, yo, I mean, Everybody keeps talking about like, yo, dude, Cam Newton never had a number one wide receiver. He had Steve Smith for like a year, and then he had a bunch of nobodies for the rest of his career. And then he never had a top 15 offensive line. His defense was his best quality. And it was dude was an MVP.
That's what I'm saying. He was an MVP.
Oh, dude, yeah.
What about this?
Yeah, dude, I think you paid him, dude. He
this is my
took
dude.
so much flack for being so undersized.
Dude.
Yeah.
But he's not really. But he's not really.
Totally deserves it. He's a one man wrecking crew.
But he's not even really undersized. It's just like he's from Stanford. He's super small. Like dude's 6 foot. He's super built. Like he's over 200 pounds. Like dude's a runner. Like he's bigger than some backs that they consider like bigger backs too. Like dude's solid.
Yeah, no, it absolutely.
Well, now he's all because like I remember when he came out of the draft, like, draft season coming up, dude. He only hit like 8 or like 12 reps. I don't think it was 12. I think it was like 8 reps on the bench. Because they're like, oh, dude, he's hella small. I'm like, oh, dude, like, I think there was another running back. He wasn't just the only one there. I don't remember if Bryce Love was a part of that mix or was somebody else that was a part of that mix too when McCaffrey was at Stanford. But yeah, McCaffrey took the hold of everything. But yeah, at the same time, you're talking about the offenses of gadget players. McCaffrey would have fit that bill.
So I got in another argument with somebody about this, and on the same thing. It wasn't really an argument, but it was more like, is he like some people are saying, well, he has more skill set. Oh, this was the argument. It was, who are you gonna take, Christian McCaffrey or Barry Sanders? And I was like, Barry Sanders, and they're all like, what? That makes no sense. They're like, Christian McCaffrey catches all the balls and blah blah blah, all this and that, right? And I was like, yeah, because that's exactly what the scheme needs, dude. They require him to do all that work because, I mean, if they don't have him, they're nowhere as competitive as what they are. He's a great player. He has good hands, good catching ability, and he can run. But I mean, overall, like, I mean, there's been backs that can catch and that can run, and that can move, that's quick, that that are workhorses and stuff. But there's never been another Barry Sanders. Put Barry Sanders in that situation, like in the same situation, he's probably going to do the same amount of numbers, but make it look spectacular in some sense. And that's kind of what the argument was on my end. And I was like, no disrespect to CMC right there. I was like, the dude's a beast, right? But they need him to be a beast, and I wouldn't expect him to put up those same numbers year in and year out, because that's a high output. And in this league, playing like that, dude, I mean,
you're talking about at this point, McCaffrey might retire as early as Barry did if he keeps putting up numbers like this, because his body's not gonna be able to take it.
Exactly. I mean, think about it, dude. Barry played in a time where it was so set in stone, right? Like, they're not having him come out the backfield on swing routes or lining him out wide to get the mismatch with the linebacker. They weren't doing that. It was just straight, hard-nosed football. High back sets. We run at you. It wasn't necessarily a chess. It was more like checkers back then, and the best athletes win type of thing. And that's why he did what he did and tried to make something out of nothing almost on every single play, right? So it's different. They utilize Christian to be a player like how he is. Like, they make design sets for him to get the mismatch, right? They're like,
yeah, dude, I think you'd be surprised, like, as far as like you see maybe in 2 or 3 years, like, because I wouldn't be surprised if they draft like another running back this year that's more of a traditional running back.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe dude from Ohio State that's really more downhill, fits their zone scheme, like, and kind of can take a lot of bulk of the like handoffs. But dude is still gonna get maybe like 17 handoffs a game. You're gonna put him in the slot. Like, he's like just a slot receiver than like most like top 5 slot receivers in the NFL. And I could see him like in 3 years, like maybe like one of those random NFL years where he has like some type of like MCL sprain, and then they're finally like, all right, cool. Like, you're done playing running back. We're going to just put you as a slot wide receiver, because he has that skill set. Like, remember at the combine, like they were saying, like, dude, at running back, he was the best route runner there.
Yeah.
like coming out of Stanford. So I could already just see like one injury, kind of one below to the head, maybe, and they're like, all right, cool, like we'll put you in the slot, and then he can play another like 6-7 years in the slot because he's just nice like that. He's natural.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I 100% agree. That and I was behind that too when he was coming into the draft. I was like, I thought that, I was following what everyone else was following. I was like, you don't really see too many, and it's like how they were putting it, you don't see too many white running backs coming out there and being as nice as what he's proven out, right? So it's like you would see him more like the Julian Edelmans or whatever, right? Put him out there in the slot and let him eat. Especially since when he got drafted, they were thinking, okay, Cam's going to be the running gun type of guy, and so now you have to have someone that's covered him in the slot, and you have those running backs. They had a couple good running backs. I mean, not great running backs, but they had like some heavy runners that would get you the 4 yards. I think the last one that was there, and they finally let him go. What season ago was Jonathan Stewart.
Who?
I think it was Jonathan Stewart.
For who? Oh.
For Carolina.
Oh yeah, Jonathan Stewart. Yeah.
I think he was the last like big back and that they released. I think there was a few guys that they came in for a year here and there, but because this was what his third season or his fourth season this year.
Yeah. Well, because did John? It was D'Angelo Williams, then Jonathan Stewart. Yeah.
Yeah, and then Jonathan Stewart ended up staying there for hella years, right? And then
Yeah.
D'Angelo
That
Williams.
dude's not even in the league anymore, I think.
Right. Yeah. Dude, I mean, I've watched what's his name, Christian McCaffrey. He had like this little YouTube like video of him where he was like, "This is exactly what I do to stay healthy," and it was all about like rehab. So he like spends like 5 to 6 hours a day or like every other day or something like that on like chiropractic therapy, cryotherapy, deep tissue massage, all this stuff, just so that he can stay healthy, and he can rejuvenate and be ready to go back out there, because he was saying that was the big knock, is people thought that he was undersized and he was one hit away from being out the league. It's interesting.
Well, I mean, I remember from year one to year two, he put on hella weight, like because he's just he's an athlete. Start working out. That dude is winning off the field as well. Do you know who his girlfriend is?
No. Should we look it
up? Look her up, Olivia Ocampo or Olacampo, man. She's fucking fine as fuck. Just type in Christian McCaffrey's girlfriend. She's like a model for like Sports Illustrated and shit. Yeah.
Is this it?
She used to go out with Danny. No. The middle one.
This one?
Oh yeah, the Olivia. No, the Olivia one. Yeah, her.
This one. What am I getting into right?
She's an SI model and shit, bro. You better watch out what sites you're just clicking on, bro.
I know. I'm like, it says sports.
Yeah, I was like it.
Oh, there you go.
Winning on the field, off the field, man.
Winning.
Yeah.
Hey, I think all the professional athletes are though. It's not just him.
Yeah. Well, the fact that was a Danny Amendola had her.
Oh, what?
And he like cheated on her or some shit in Miami when he was with Miami.
I mean, dude, I can't blame those dudes. They live different lives. They live different lives. I think it's almost like foolish to think like they're going to be faithful.
All right, this was another good post that I commented on, all about football, but we'll switch it up after this. How do I get back? All right, let's see if I mean, Kris, you've probably seen this one.
What?
Build your best squad.
The football one?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is easy.
I mean, there's so many easy
questions.
All right.
Yeah.
Me personally, what I said was
Oh yeah.
I would go Jerry Rice and Randy Moss because any of these quarterbacks right here, and even Patrick Mahomes. I mean, you could say like anyone that just throws it up to homeboy right here or hits the wide open Randy Moss. I mean, it's going to be kind of, or you know what I'm saying? Either way. So I said, get these two guys. I said I would get Jerry Rice, Randy Moss. That's $10. I said I would probably take Brett Favre um, over Mahomes, and that's $12. Then I said, me being a Raider, I probably would just pick Bo Jackson just because I like Bo, you know. And then that's 14. And then you can go Witten right here. I mean, Witten's not a bad choice at tight end. He's not the greatest tight end, but I mean, he's not that bad, you know. And I mean,
Well, did you notice there's no tight end in the $4 or $5 one? The only 3, 2, or 1. I'm like, yeah, dude, there's some bomb ass tight ends. To me, I would go Peyton. I would go Peyton, LT, and then I would go Gonzalez. So that's $9 right there. Then I would go Tim Brown, with the Raiders. So that's 2. So we're at 11. So 4 would be Calvin Johnson. Dude, Calvin Johnson's a monster that retired so early.
I know Calvin Johnson's awesome. Awesome.
But I mean, yeah,
you could
because even like I mean, if I really wanted to, I could take T.O. too, and I could take T.O. and Tim Brown and put them together. Like that's some matchups right there. That's gonna cause some problems for some people.
Well, I was like, even if you went Peyton Manning, Jason Witten, Larry Fitzgerald, Marshall Falk. I mean, and then you have Megatron. You have money left over, right?
But to be like, I don't know, like I know Evan Smith's like I would have to seriously go watch like an old school game with Evan Smith. So I remember Evan Smith was like, he's moving really slow. Like compared to like the run backs on here, like LT, Barry Sanders, was it Falk and like AP? I'm like, dude, to me, Evan Smith looks really slow in this category of build your own squad.
I can't believe you can get Marshall Falk for $1.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
I
think you're sleeping out Marshall Falk, dude.
And I was that's crazy. And then
at
$1, dude. And I was like, that's crazy. I mean, as a wide receiver, I mean, I think Larry Fitzgerald. I saw a crazy stat that said Larry Fitzgerald has more tackles than he does drop balls in his entire career. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Larry Fitzgerald is a fucking savage. Like they just.
Yes, for sure. Him.
It sucks just because he was, when you get like drafted into a team, like he had good years with like a decent quarterback like Carson Palmer, and he had Kurt Warner for a minute, and like dude showed out. But then he's had a lot of years where it's like fucking was it Kevin Cobb, fucking just random dudes, bro.
Yeah.
Trash, bro. Like literally trash.
Like, I think yeah.
If he wasn't as loyal,
Kevin Cobb, that's hella funny.
He left, dude. But he's just a stand-up dude, a low dude, and he left. Wait, who was it? If I'm not mistaken, I think he used to work. Larry Fitzgerald used to work with Randy Moss. I think that's who it was. I think he.
I think back in the day, yeah.
Yeah, so Larry Fitzgerald was a ball boy for the 99, 98 Minnesota Vikings.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was like 14 or something like that. He was the ball boy because Danny Green. I think his dad is hella cool with Danny Green, or maybe Larry Fitzgerald's dad worked on the staff or something like that. Like he had connections. He had connections to the team and stuff. But I mean that's a lot of stuff like Calvin Johnson, bro. Like that dude was so good, dude. But like obviously, right, if you're stuck with the Lions, like.
Yeah, I got why he retired, but then I heard like the next year he was thinking about coming back, and like he was just like, I'm only coming back for like a handful of teams. It pretty much was just like it was like the Patriots or bust. Yeah. And they're like, no, we're not giving you to the Patriots, dude. Like, sorry. Like, I think that's when like the Patriots actually had like a semi-stacked team at that time.
Yeah,
no. It was like.
Well, it was crazy too because when he retired, they paid him like in his contract. They like paid him out, I think. And then when he was trying to come back, they were gonna sue him for everything that they paid him. And like whatever. Like he was thinking he thought that they were going to be the Detroit Lions were going to be like a stand up organization, but they were like, no, we're not going to see you go play for anybody else, especially Super Bowl contending team. The hate ran deep. It was what it was.
I love me some Bo Jackson, obviously, because I'm a Raiders fan. But like,
I thought that was Bo for a second, but then
I see some oh, it's Tim Brown?
That's him.
I thought it was Bo. I couldn't tell. Huh?
Yeah, there was
Yeah,
it's
it's TV.
It's the one. Oh yeah, it's the 81.
They both rock the wristband and tape and shit. So it's like
yeah, it just kind of looks like him, but I wasn't paying attention to the actual number.
Yeah.
Even Tim Brown at number 2, dude. I mean, he's arguably one of the greatest wide receivers on the AFC side for sure.
Yeah, I mean, dude, like I just remember playing. Like, yeah, I'm a Raiders fan, but like, you have to play as the Chargers every now and then. Like playing LT and Madden was a complete joke.
Oh yeah,
dude. Just like, yo, like I remember I beat my dad hella bad. He's like, "Why are you playing with the Chargers?" I was like, "Yo, cause watch." I dropped screens out the whole time. He was so pissed.
Rushing attack. I remember we used to play that all the time.
Yeah, rushing attack.
You have him, Lorenzo Neal. You kidding me? Get out of here.
Yeah.
Hey, I love me some Adrian Peterson too, but like they have some old dudes on here like Montana. Like I'm surprised they didn't put Walter Payton on here. Like
I know, right?
That's like
Yeah.
I mean,
I mean that's the thing is like there's some like I don't know. To me, Jason Witten's still in the league. Like Larry Fitzgerald's still in the league. Like why are you gonna throw them on there right now?
I know, right?
Like all these other dudes are not in the league anymore.
I think he's just done. Well, Tom's still going.
Right? Like I don't know. Like hey, how about we take Witten off and like put me a little Shannon Sharp? I'll take a little Shannon Sharp for $1.
Right.
I would take Shannon Sharp over almost all these, all of them, just because he was a dog. Not saying that Tony Gonzalez wasn't, but I'm just saying or Antonio Gates. It's just he was a different dog. Like he was trying to hurt people, and he avoided it.
I mean, again, maybe it's just because I'm a Raiders fan. The Chargers did well for years, and they used to whoop our ass. Antonio Gates was unstoppable when you play the Raiders. No one could cover him.
Yep.
Oh, he's a baller.
Dude, straight out of Kent State basketball school. Like he played ball, and it was I'll just walk on. And he worked his way to a Hall of Fame career.
Isn't that crazy?
Like, yo, that's nuts to me. Like Mahomes shouldn't even be on here. That Mahomes the next to Favre.
Yeah, that's Mahomes. That's why I was like, man, put someone. You do better putting Montana as the KC guy there.
That too.
I just think like it shows like the Antonio Gates one, bro. Like if you're just like one of those athletes, like you just go play football if you want to. Like I would say like basketball is a little hard. It's a little bit more like either you got it or you don't. But football, like if you're just one of those athletes, dude, if you're that dude, like you can just go play. It's not gonna matter.
I thought that. What did I say?
You got 53 on a roster, dude. You can find a roster spot if you're an athlete, and that's why most people just take raw athletes.
Well, that's why everyone was saying, dude, LeBron James probably could have done it. He probably could have. I mean, not the flop LeBron, but like if he was playing, you've never seen him play football. But like his stats prove, and he's not playing in no slouch state too. I mean, he's playing in Ohio, right? And so I mean, that's some of the best football in America. And I mean,
well, I actually heard like he actually like really considered football for a while. But all of a sudden, like once like all this concussion shit came out, he had a couple kids. He started bashing football. He was like, "Nah, my kids ain't playing football." Like, no.
Well, yeah, no, true. He was
like, "Yeah, dude, you can get a concussion in basketball too."
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I just think it was easy for him, bro. Like he's so freaking good. He's so fucking good at basketball. It's like it's not even because there was no point. Plus, like they're already throwing hella money on him. Like didn't he got in trouble for like having a Hummer, right? Like someone bought him a Hummer, an agent. Like, yeah, bro, it was a wrap. It was a wrap. Once he realized how much money he could make, like in just his early years coming out of high school, like it's not even a question. Like it's not even worth going to play. Like he probably thought like if I really flame out of basketball that quick, like by like let's say by 22, I'm like fuck dude, I'm not even playing. Like I kind of like suck or whatever. Like I'm pretty sure he could have went to just go play like. Tried out for like any team in the NFL since he's already like famous, right? Agent would have hooked him up with a tryout somewhere.
Yeah, no.
He's still a
Yeah.
freaking crazy athlete.
Plus, he was gonna get paid so much more money. Like, think about that. Like you said, he was 18 years or 17 years old at the time, and then, turning 18 years old, he already had a Nike deal. He already had literally everything else. So it's like, even if he played like 3 years, he probably already made all that money and he was good. He was set for life either way, And he's not a stupid dude. He's a smart dude. So he probably would have invested. He probably would have done what he's doing right now. Just probably not a billionaire athlete, but just a multimillionaire. All right.
Dude,
Topic.
I mean, he got like did he get the shoe deal like right after, like, it's like $100 mil right out of high school, right?
Like right.
So he had like $100 million deal with Nike right out of high school.
What was that? Like,
Yeah, bro.
Like,
He
yo, dude,
was
what are you gonna
he
give a
was
17, 18-year-old?
yeah, he was set at 17 years old, bro. Or 18. Like,
Yeah.
he was never gonna have to ever work again in his life.
No, yeah, he knew that. Right? He knew that.
Yeah, dude.
I was gonna ask you guys, what do you guys think about the schedule? Do you think there's gonna be football this year?
I think so. I hope to God so. I saw like the NBA just like suggested like 25-day proposal or some shit. So they're saying the NBA might be able to come back.
I think pro sports will for sure come back. Like, they'll make it work. Like, they need to bring in some money, right? Like, they'll make it work. Like, they'll figure it out because a lot of the economy, like, is dependent on a lot of stuff going back to normal. And like, one of the things is sports. But like, as far as like college, like, I think a lot of people would be surprised, like, if like Division III, Division II, the FCS, like, all those people don't play football this year. And maybe like just the money hungry conferences, like the Power Five, like the SEC, the fucking Pac-12, Big Ten, like those conferences that have like a lot of money riding on like all these kids coming back to school. I think they'll try to finesse it, even though it's kind of messed up, right? Because it's about money. It's not about like really like football or getting these kids back to school. It's just about the money. So that stuff will come back. And then I was like talking to somebody today, like, I mean, I don't see high school football coming back this year.
I don't either. I mean, they don't have an answer at all.
I think to me, if no one's gonna have an answer, the next answer is gonna be like, all right, everybody's got to go back to what they're doing, because there's no way to sit there and like talk about. See, you showed me that video today. That dude wasn't really talking about anything besides like nutrition, like getting vitamin D, getting vitamin C, and all that shit like that. I was like, all right. So it's like, I don't know. I think there's no way you could, because you're gonna eventually. Said the summertime. If this is not figured out, people are going to go work by summertime, because people are going to end up not being stuck inside anymore. When you talk about 85 degrees, 100 degrees, like, think about it. Some people don't have AC, so it's actually cooler outside the house than it is inside the house. So it's like people are going to go be out and about.
No, true, and that's the whole thing. The whole purpose of that video, and I'll send it to you too, Joe. I don't know if I sent it to you, but it was I forget his name. But he's like a renowned like scientist and stuff, and pretty much what he was conveying, or at least what I got the whole gist about, is the way that the government and how everyone like just kind of just like closed the economy and everything followed, like sports and all that stuff. He said, the prediction is they're going to do the same thing with opening it back up. They're following some bad tactics, which I mean, I understand, but he was also saying that like there's a lot of false stuff that's being spread. Like, the number of cases are like the numerator and denominator and stuff like that. They're saying that it's a lot of there's a lot of blurred lines with the like who's sick, who's not, who's being diagnosed, who's not, who has something else and being diagnosed as COVID just because to keep the numbers up, all because of money and all this stuff, and how the government's politicizing the virus, and they're trying to use it as like some type of leverage against Trump or whatever. It makes sense, but I was like, dude, like, it's going to get to a certain point. I don't know if you guys heard what the governor, he said that by Friday they're going to release a new plan to ease social distancing going into the summer, and they'll start these eases in May 1st. So it'll begin, and
Yeah,
so it's
Like,
crazy.
yeah. I don't know, dude. Like, I just look at it like, I think, especially when kids go back to school, right? Or like, let's just say in August, like, hey, what is the plan going to be when we go back to when the kids go back to school or something like that? I think it's going to be like, hey, we're gonna spread the desk, like we're gonna continue to do some type of social distancing. We're gonna make all these plans about how to go about the school days and do multiple lunches so we don't have too many kids gathering. And then like as far as like the sports and everything like that, I could just see them just being like, hey, like sorry, like
It's
you
not,
know,
yeah,
it's just not going to happen. We're not going to make that happen until either like a full on vaccine is made where it's like, oh yeah, we can cure this or whatever, or or because I mean I know, dude, like we work we all work and coach in the same school district. Like I can already see parents being like, no, like my kid can't be in the weight room. There's 20 kids in there.
yeah. No, exactly.
One of them might have it. Like so.
Well, our school we're in a meeting and they pretty much said that uh, until September they're planning on doing distance learning. That's what their complete. That's what like their full prognosis for what came out for like um what they released to I guess the board was that's the plan. Distance learning for the rest of the year and begin the school year with distance learning for up to a month and then start integrating it back to live uh, sessions. Now, I don't think that's going to happen because I mean I think you're going to have a bunch of parents in an uproar. But the only reason why that um, they're trying to like get this to happen is because the college board came out saying that they're fine with credit, no credit, and all this stuff. Like they released a statement saying that our school district saying that they're not giving out grades this year for this semester. They're just gonna go credit, no credit. Yeah. So if you show up to class
what?
and you do the bare minimum, like a D work, like a D is legitimately the same as an A this time around. And so
Wow, dude, that's wow to me.
it's crazy, right? And so they're saying they're going to do that still moving forward into the next first month of school. And I think the governor and California and they said pretty much the western states they're recognizing that the problem that this might start causing. And it's crazy because I've been reading it, I've been following it like every day. They've kind of done like a 180, right? And it just doesn't seem. I honestly think that they found out something that they're not supposed to find out or whatever, and now they're because he was saying no disrespect to the federal government, but this is what we're gonna pretty much do, and it's not to be in it's not to like be in different with the president or what they're recommending. It's just we are in a different situation than everywhere else. So we shouldn't have, adhere to the same types of plans and that, were the order.
Are you saying towards a native, like to go even more tight lockdown, or to start the loosening everything up?
For what? Oh no, they're going to loosen everything up. That's what they're saying. He said that he wants to jumpstart the economy in California again. You know,
Well, I mean, like I said, like I told you, like there's certain buildings at Apple are open back up again, and it's like, yo, I think from my understanding, even the cafe staff that they're talking about put back May 4th.
yeah.
So it's like,
Isn't that crazy?
sure, people because hey, on top of it, if you're gonna send kids back to school, or I said the other thing too, if you're gonna send parents to work, who's gonna watch their kids?
Yep.
Those kids are gonna have to go back to school,
Yep.
type of deal. So because like people don't have money to be paying babysitters and shit like that right now. So it's like you're gonna end up having to open up daycare. So if you're gonna open daycare for a child, might as well just open school
Exactly.
at that point.
It just doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't make any sense what they're saying. So that like that's why I'm thinking like I already told my team, and I said that we're you know I'm about 90% sure that we're not going to be practicing until the start of next year, like the actual start of next school year. I don't think we're gonna practice.
I think I completely agree that I don't think we're gonna start. High schools aren't gonna be allowed to practice till August.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
like that's when you get to meet up with your team.
And
So it's like, I mean, think about it, those days are the normal mandatory days
yeah,
that we have to mandatory practice anyways. So it's like if everything else is voluntary and stuff like that, like you should be here, but it's voluntary type of shit.
yeah.
Like they're not gonna force. They're gonna keep everything to August.
Hey, I can for sure see like
I think it's like I'm down for.
there's not going to be no preseason.
No,
We're just going to do league and that's it. And then like,
Oh yeah.
and then I could see like a lot of teams being like, or a lot of schools being like, hey, we're not going to have JV football this year. Like it's just too hard. Like we're gonna just we'll start it back up next year when we can actually do summer and we can get everything going and stuff. Because unless like you're maybe some of the like schools that have a solid JV, varsity, and a freshman team coaching staff always like in line, like it's just way too hard to like try to do a JV team and a varsity team in August, like 2 weeks, and then try to get them ready for league to start. Like there's like a lot of work that goes into it. Like all of us know that. So I can't imagine some of these schools that already have a hard enough time with JV programs being able to sustain or like be able to do it this coming year.
yeah, no, I don't. I told. It's funny because like I sent an email to all the Scaval coaches, and Milo was on it, and he was like, "It's above our pay grade," but I was like, "Yeah, sure," but to be honest, it's like we need to have like a time where everyone's going to be, or they're going to at least make a decision on it. And so the league guys said they're not going to make a decision, or they're not going to come to those discussions until July 1st. So you figure July 1st, they'll probably at the most make a decision maybe mid-July about it. Okay, and then the odds of them. They say, okay, you guys can do it. Well, then where does that leave like those new freshmen? Exactly, right? So, you can go ahead and scratch JV pretty much off. And then, I mean, for programs like ours or for Monte Vista at least, it's like, dude, like I needed seriously the entire spring all the way through summer. I needed all of that to get these kids ready, And I mean, we've done it for the last couple of seasons, but we're now in a situation where it's like I'm at that point now where it's like, well, I hope that we have a reduced season, because you're gonna need those extra practice, those extra weeks to really get everything together. Maybe 7 weeks, 6 weeks.
But I mean, I feel like that the whole idea of cutting preseason would probably make more sense.
Yeah,
It's like, all right, dude, you're not traveling very far. You know what you're going into. But like again, for me, to be like honest, like Homestead and St. Clair, the only two teams are in the Deanza. We're gonna get our ass kicked. We're gonna end up going 2-4 because of our season. So it's like, how are you gonna sit there project playoffs off of that? But it's like at that same time, like they can cut preseason and they can probably cut it. If it's still like around, they could probably cut playoffs and cut like state championships like that. Like, all right, dude, it's just district winners this year, or your own division winners. They might as coaches make us like disinfect shit almost like every day to them. Like, we're gonna have to sit there hand scrub all the footballs, all the equipment every day. I'm like, dude, I'm not like unless you're gonna up the stipend, man, I ain't gonna be doing all that shit. Trip balls.
No, exactly.
Like shit.
I wouldn't do that at all. I don't know what the heck they're.
No.
I don't know what the heck they're.
Like,
hey, could you imagine, dude? Like, and this would be like almost one of those like safety things, like Homestead versus Wilcox first game of the season.
Yep.
Like,
yeah, you
like,
talking about
like come on, dude, like, so like, these kids are gonna get hurt right now. Like,
yeah, the only kids that are gonna be able to play are the kids that like played previously. Like Homestead, like we just graduated shit to the seniors. Guess what? We got 25 sophomores coming up. So it's like our 20-something sophomores coming up. So we're gonna be playing with a bunch of underclassmen going in to Deanza. So it's like, that's not the business. That's a business decision to not take. Like, but it's like, all right, are you gonna allow us to have like a round robin scrimmage with the 4 preseason teams you get to play with? Like,
Bro.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
I
what,
don't know.
it'd
There's
be
so much
surprising.
like I was like, yeah, dude,
it's just whack, man. It's crazy. I guarantee you, we're gonna get. We're gonna get into the. It's gonna come down to like the last week before August, right? Last week of July, and we're gonna find out that they're gonna say something stupid like, "All right, you guys can play."
yeah, dude. I did. No one's gonna be prepared. Like I said, like I 100% believe people like you. Can you imagine the doctors are gonna be slammed with these type of physicals now? Like you're part of your physical now is gonna be like, yo, do you have like the COVID-19?
It's gonna be crazy.
Like, well, I was talking to somebody. It's gonna turn into like one of those like vaccines that you have to get before you go out to school, like measles or like other
Oh
shit
yeah,
like that.
Oh yeah, for sure. I just unless there's some type of vaccine that comes out in these next couple of months, honestly, like that, I just don't see how we have football because they're not going to want to have 30 kids huddled together.
yeah. No, they're not gonna let that happen.
Yeah, so every time as the time goes by and like if there's no like cure or vaccine,
Yeah,
I don't think they'll have sports this year. This year in general, like maybe next spring.
yeah. I think that's more because I mean you got baseball, you got track and field, you got all those different sports that don't necessarily need you to be in arm's length. You know, like football, basketball, wrestling. Um,
Yo, basketball, you for sure. If football ain't gonna happen, like if basketball's for sure not gonna happen. You're talking about these dudes are breathing on each other, like
And
like I,
touching the ball.
yeah,
yeah,
no, absolutely.
yeah. You you're secreting whatever germs you have, like just directly onto somebody. I know football you do too, but it's like you're talking about your arms and shit like that. You're not talking about like a whole body suit, like you're just like touching people.
You know,
For sure.
Shit wild me, dude.
like the fall and winter. Yeah, that's definitely probably gonna be a wrap. I told them all straight up, dude. I was like, I told all the kids. I said, you know, be prepared that you probably won't have a season. And it sucks because they're gonna have to give the seniors a legitimate answer the season. You know, like what can they do? What can they do? You know, what about
Yeah.
the kids? Like, because it's not just gonna be us; it's gonna be everyone. Like, what about those kids at modern day that needed the senior year to get put on? You know, without them playing, will they still have a spot on the team? You know, it's gonna be crazy.
I don't know, dude. I think you'll see a lot of people, like especially like people that are recruiting and stuff like that, will just go to those schools and pick up like their seventh wide receiver instead of going to recruit like a Los Gatos or a Wilcox or something like that, trying to find maybe a gem somewhere. They're just gonna be like, nah, it's good. Like I'll go to like the Trinity League over there and go get someone's like seventh wide receiver. At least I know they're probably size or speed.
Uh,
You know what I mean? And that's how college scholarships would get dealt out. But
no, I agree.
I don't see no one recruiting this
I mean,
year.
yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, I saw some article today. It was like kind of sad, dude. It was like feel bad for all those first generation people who graduating college. I was like, oh shit, that's like a deep. Like I this whole time I was a trooper. Like oh, people were walking like high school shit. Like yo, you're trying to focus on college, but what about the people that are in college? Like yo, guess what? They're not walking. They're like
Yeah,
first of their family line to graduate.
but you can go eventually go walk.
Yeah, you could
Eventually go walk.
eventually you could do it. But you know what's crazy is I also saw an article that said, you know, it was like a person that was saying, I see all these people, you know, I feel bad for these 2020 graduates and whatever, you know, and he was just playing devil's advocate. He was like, but you know, if this is the worst that they're gonna see in their lifetime, then good, you know, because they said for our generation, the millennials,
Yo, this is gonna be in our history books.
dude, we like the millennials have lived through the onset. They said like the big break of HIV, like in the late 80s, and then they said, you know, you've seen, uh, you know, the Afghanistan war. you've seen 9/11, you've seen SARMs, you've seen H1N1. Now you see this pandemic, and on top of a ton of other things that we've been through. And so they're saying, like this recession, the 2007 recession, they said, we have jobs that we were fighting for because of this '07 recession, where when we were graduating high school, we had to go to school and try to get jobs to rebuild the economy. And then now, once we've done it, it all comes crashing down again. So they said, hopefully, these kids that are graduating can get through it, and it's not going to be like how our life has been. I was like, I could see it. Yeah, it's
I don't
still
know, dude.
tough for them, but
To me, it's like, dude, this stuff is gonna be in like books, like history books from now on. Like, yeah, like the recession of '07. Like, I think I mentioned that, but you're talking about on a global scale of what this shit did. Like, and like the news are coming out every day. How it's always constantly changing. People's like, we shut shit down. Like other states were full lockdown. Some states aren't. Like, it's like some states like won't even think about a lot like being a shelter in place. I'm like, dude, like this is not lockdown. This is people are walking up and down the street. You're able to go walk around, kick it. Like I heard like people are just getting like fines and shit for going out to like Santa Cruz and stuff like that. But it's like, dude, like this is just insane to me, dude. Like this is gonna be in like their books. Like our grandkids are gonna know about what the hell happened.
they're gonna ask us what were you doing during this time?
Sitting at home.
I was working at Apple. I was working at Apple.
Kris was like, I was at ground zero. I was a high risk employee.
Yeah, dude.
High risk.
Well, that's the other thing. I feel like people are gonna do that. Like I feel like that's what people are gonna do. They're gonna start testing people. Like you're gonna see a mass production of the temperature gauges, the guns, and like schools are gonna be like, all right, you got a cough, you got a temperature, take it, and then all right, if the kids have a temperature, they're out. Type of deal. So it's like I think business places are like we kind of talked about Apple, right? It's like they're gonna that a quarter of the building back at 1 month, and then the next month or a couple weeks after that, like half of the building come back. Was it Jenny's not going back to work like into an office building? They said if anything, July.
Yeah, makes sense.
I could see like schools like switching it up, like Monday and Wednesday you're here at school, like freshman and sophomore, then junior to senior.
Just so that they can
here Tuesday and Thursday. Yeah, and then everything else, and then like those days you're not at school, you're online.
Yeah,
you're online and shit. So it's like you get your social activity, then you turn around and get like go back into the classroom, so you're still getting used to being in the classroom.
Yeah, no, I agree.
That's crazy to me, dude.
I can see what you said.
Just the whole pat, like
for sure, I could see that as far as like, hey, juniors and seniors come to school like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then like the next week they'll come Monday, Tuesday, Thursday only, and then and they'll just do it like that. And then like the days that you're not at school, you got to do online learning.
Yeah.
Or like it's gonna be something crazy like that. I can see that for sure.
I definitely see it.
I mean, the whole thing, you're talking about like again, our parents gonna be able to who's gonna watch the kids that are on that block day type of deal.
Yeah.
Like, you're talking about kids that are going to prep to go to kindergarten aren't going to go to kindergarten next year. Like,
yep.
Like, how you going to teach a kindergartner how to go online and doodle and shit?
Yep.
Hey, I heard there's a lot of like older teachers that are just gonna retire. Like it's not even like maybe they had a year or two left and they're just like, hey, we're retiring. Like we're good.
I don't know, dude. Like so California, I got like this big thing from like our union. They're encouraging people that are right on the cusp of retirement or like Social Security or whatever. They're saying that you may qualify for what they're calling a golden handshake type of thing, where they give you the golden handshake and they say, we'll give you like 60,000 to retire two years early. and they'll try to get these older teachers out because not only are they high risk, but you know, they want to create more jobs for the young and up and coming, and you get those younger teachers that know how to do the distance, right? That know how to be a little bit more technical with their learning and all that stuff. So it's a little bit more geared for you know, our age group, I guess. So they said it's happening. Like they already offered 2 people at in our department.
Hey, I'd be all down for like if they're like, hey, we just need teachers. Like if you have a bachelor's degree, like you can do one semester or like 1 year of just like on-site learning, being a teacher's aide, and then boom, like next year you can take like you can just be like you don't even got to go get your credential. Like,
It's like gonna be like this.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Well, because like how many like up and coming like hey, they're about to get their credential people are there out there?
Yeah.
Right.
I don't think there's that many, bro. Like,
I think they would do the same thing because I mean they even told Stu that they're gonna they said, you know, you pretty much would get an emergency credential, and you would just you don't have to do the same rigors as getting fully credentialed, but
Yeah. You're talking about like that's like the type of shit they did it like the 1920s, 30s, 40s and shit. Like, oh, dude, you didn't need a college degree. Like how you hear like some teachers be like, yeah, I don't have a college degree. I'm just, you know, I wanted to be a teacher. I applied for it. They gave you the job.
That's
Shit.
You can't tell me no different. Yeah, no, exactly.
Nah, for sure, dude. I think you see a lot of people go into the teaching like field because they're like, all right, cool. I don't got to spend that extra 20 grand to get a teaching credential. I can just do it. Like I know it doesn't like I think like Oakland Unified, right? They do that, right? They'll pay for your like teaching credential, but you don't even do a teaching credential, right? You just student teach, and that's your and then you're a teacher.
As long as you're working on it, you know.
Yeah.
As long as you're working on it and you have a bachelor's, you can work as a teacher. I mean, you have to have like a emergency, but I mean, you could do it.
That's just for public school too. The private schools, private schools, all you need is a bachelor. You get into the program, they fucking do that shit for you too.
Yeah, at a private school, you don't necessarily need a California
teacher credential.
Yeah.
Hey, dude, I'd be the first one if they're like, we need PE teachers. I'd be like, oh,
Sign me up.
Sign me up. I got a bachelor's.
Yeah, no, I'm there. I'm
something.
Yep. No, it's interesting. It's really interesting where we're at.
I'm all in for that one.
Yeah, dude, you talk about all these gyms are gonna close down too.
Yeah, that's true.
I said like, there's no way if you push this shit out, all these gyms are gonna close down.
Hey, C's, how much does a teaching credential cost right now?
A teaching credential?
Yeah, even if you go to like National University or something like that, or like one of these like online teaching credential schools.
I mean, like not that much. It probably costs you, like if you do it 100% online out of pocket, you're probably looking at like 15 to 20,000 for like a really good online one. But
you said not that much, bro. That's a grit. Like that's a grit. And it's a think like, hey,
that's a car. It's a brand new car.
Yeah, like you don't gotta pay that. Like that's a come up. That's a way to kickstart the economy.
Pay it, then you're good. Like for the most part, they do a pretty good job at like reimbursing you. Like for example, like Cody, he has a bunch of masters, right? And he has a bunch of debt. He has 2 masters and he has a bunch of student debt. And after you pay like 100 or so payments, then you qualify for a teacher loan forgiveness, whatever. And then it's pretty much you only pay like a certain percentage. I think it's like out of all of it, you only pay out of your own pocket like 20%. But that's because it's like, I think it's like 15%. But even still, it's like you came up on, the same education that someone else had to spend all this money for, right? So they give you a bunch of perks when you work for the school district.
That's crazy. I mean, I don't know. Yeah. But all right, then, dogs. I gotta do some laundry.
Get it done.
You feel me?
Yeah, I'm start making dinner.
Let's do this again for sure.
Let's do it again sometime.
Right on, man.
For sure. All right, then.
Peace. Y'all be good.
Like, you too.
Later.